fight anything. This year, it's my time, and I will be taking over this welterweight division and the boxing world. It's time to show out.
Yeah, because now you rank top 3 in all the rankings at least, right? So, now you could force your way into these fights.
Right.
I was saying, after we watched Cody Crowley, because he upset, Abdulkarov, was supposed to be Errol Spence's IBF mandatory.
Right.
Is that a fight you would look forward to?
We'll gladly take that and, for the #1 spot or for whatever IBF interim. We'll take that in a heartbeat.
All right, so we spoke about in the last video about what I wanted if the PBC comes to Crawford. I said, instead of him fighting Keith Thurman, and then they give him an offer to fight Keith Thurman and then fight Errol Spence. If he wants to go that direction because he wants to fight Keith Thurman, because he said he always wanted to, that was the situation in the past. Things change in the future. If he doesn't take the fight, I don't think people should crucify him if he doesn't take the fight. What I think is that he should need to take, if it's a 2 or 3 fight deal, it's either the first match with Errol Spence, the rematch, and everything goes the way it is, like a Wilder and a Fury. It should be a trilogy. So that's all I see that the PBC should be offering Terrence Bud Crawford. Basically, that's all I'm seeing is a 3-fight deal, 2-fight deal with Errol Spence. And that's why I think Bud Crawford should accept. Keith Thurman, he's always going to be there. Because when Bud Crawford, I'll give it the respect. I'm going to give everybody the respect. If Crawford beats Errol Spence, just like I said, if Ugas beats Errol Spence or Spence beats Ugas, if. Everything's ifs here, right? I'm giving it to you as a Manny Pacquiao fan. So I'm trying not to be so much, but I'm just showing you opportunities because, like I said, these channels are saturated. YouTube is saturated with Errol Spence fans. I don't know, is it because it's Texas or whatever, but it is what it is, man. And some of these channels, the guy is usually from Texas and all this stuff. So you got your Errol Spence fans and subscribers. And your channels are speaking more about what Errol Spence is doing and what Crawford is not doing, right? So we're gonna have a balance here. Just like how I would say Manny Pacquiao and it's more saturation of people hating on Manny Pacquiao. I'm here also on this side, man. Because I see it not just Errol's side, where he needs to get more, which is true. But I also see it on Bud Crawford's side, where I see that he has leverage. And it depends how this is going to go with the time. Because time is basically more on Crawford than Errol. All right? So back to where I think about Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, if Crawford beats Errol Spence, Crawford's there to defend his undisputed titles. Crawford will sorry. Keith Thurman will always be there. Okay? So if Crawford beats, get it together. If Crawford beats Errol Spence, he could always fight. If Crawford beats Errol Spence, he could always fight Keith Thurman. He could do it before, if he wants that offer, or he could do it after and defend his undisputed belts. Okay? So Keith, yeah, he's the wild card, but it's where you want to place him and where Bud Crawford want to place him. So let's move on about Errol Spence. So Errol Spence want to be undisputed, right? There's time. There's a situation of time. I know that everybody right now and the Errol Spence fans always talking about Crawford need to fight Boots. It's expeditiously. It's ASAP. Why he's not fighting Boots, right? All this shit. And, we don't have to talk about nothing else but that. Crawford should fight Boots. Crawford don't sell. These are two things. Crawford don't sell. Crawford need to fight Boots. Anything he needs to do to get his numbers up. Whatever you Errol Spence fans want to talk about, man. But I'm saying, well, what's going on with Errol Spence, man? Because you got to be true on being the truth. You got to be true about being the truth. And you've always been true about being the truth. You was always true about being the truth when you said, I'm going to fight Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, and Bud Crawford. You said those things. You beat Danny. You didn't get the Manny Pacquiao fight, but it was supposed to happen. So you was on that route. So I believe he was honest about it, regardless if I don't know about the suspect eye and everything and all this. I'm not going to get into that and my beliefs and how I should feel if it's real or not. That's past. That's past. Niggas in the past could talk about that. I'm right here. So you've been also true about cleaning up your side. You fought Sean Porter. You did a lot of truthful things. A lot of truthful things. But I believe in the future, this fight with Ugas, if you beat Ugas, the only place you need to go now is the direction of Undisputed. And this Undisputed works both ways. This Undisputed works both ways. Bud Crawford, he could do it again and be undisputed. Why would he need to go over there? Why he need to go over there? And like I said in my last video, I know y'all say he burned his bridges with Bob Arum, but we also dealing with the rankings. We also dealing with the rankings. And if the rankings in the WBO is saying Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz is there, Boots Ennis, listen, like I said, Bud Crawford doesn't have a mandatory. He beat Sean Porter. He has like a year, right? I think they give him up to 6 months to hold that belt or whatever, right? He can have a voluntary, okay? But I'm saying, if it's Errol Spence's time to get to his IBF mandatory, and it comes to find out that Cody, that beat a Dubikov, have to fight Boots Ennis for that mandatory spot, so be it. They're busy. The IBF is busy. But if Boots Ennis is right up there in the IBF as Errol Spence mandatory, his back is against the wall and the time is against him. Time is against him because if you have a mandatory that you didn't withhold for a lot of years, not holding that against you because you had accidents, I'm not holding that against you because you was trying to unify, not holding that against you, Spence, but I'm saying you got to upheld that situation with the IBF and it's Boots that's your mandatory. Well, let's go to the bargain table. Let's go to the bargain table. Because after Boots, right here, it's either you're going for your mandatory or you're going to do what we all say. Undisputed and unifying over Trump's mandatory. So what's it going to be then? That's one. Second is your weight. Are we doing this in 2022? Or are we going to move on to 2023 to get this fight between Crawford and Errol Spence? And the way I see it, you need special nutritious and certain way to work out to keep your weight down. Because you're about 30 something, right? You're not a 23-year-old, 24 Boots Ennis where all he have to do is drop water to make 147. And that's a big 5. He's like 5'9", 5'10", or something like that. Yeah, with the same reach of Bud Crawford, 74-inch reach, right? But you got like a body type of Boots got like a body type of Errol Spence, but he's just a little bit much bigger. He's like a mixture of Errol Spence and Bud Crawford, right? But everybody say he emulates more of Crawford because of his switching ability, also his reach, right? So what is it going to be? Your weight, right? Your weight and your mandatory to IBF. And also the undercard with you and Ugas and Spence. Spence, you and Ugas, you still got that tournament. Because I see Standonius got to fight Butnev in that undercard. And whoever wins that, I got Butnev, the Russian, beating the Lithuanian, Standonius. That's what I feel. I got the Russian. But whoever wins that, you still have to enter the tournament. You still have to enter the tournament. And I'll show you proof of that in my link showing you that that tournament is still on. It was just so happened that Al Heyman gave Standonius step-aside money, and he stepped his ass aside for Ugas to fight Errol Spence. And they prevented, with that step-aside money there, with the WBA, they also prevented the situation with the IBF fighting Abdubakar. But Abdubakar lost, so, because he lost to Cody Crowley, so they also stopped that mandatory situation of him fighting his IBF mandatory. So they knocked off 2 birds with 1 stone for Errol Spence. So are we going to pay step-aside money again Are we going to pay step-aside money again to the winner of Standonis and Butnev so we could reach what the goal of Errol Spence? And the goal of Errol Spence is to be undisputed and get this strap? Get this strap? Is that where that's where we going at? All right. So a lot of people saying, oh, Crawford, I need this. Crawford, got to do this. Crawford, I'm giving you the facts. There's a tournament and there's an IBF that got to be held, right? And then it's also his weight. So we can move this all the way to 23. And this is what I'm going to say about being truth. You the truth? Be true to being the truth. Because you said you didn't want. You said. I still, these Errol Spence fans, they're going to give Errol Spence a pass for this shit. After this man said, what did he say? I don't want Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman did not give me the opportunity when I was coming up. He was ducking me. He had all kind of excuses. He had all these injuries. Okay? He didn't give me the opportunity. So, not as a businessman, all right? But I just have a gripe. I have a gripe with this man. A personal gripe that I'm not giving him the opportunity. All right, man. Well, hold that, man. Don't worry about that. Because you're the truth, right? Aren't you the truth, nigga? Huh? You're the truth, right? So keep that same truth going because you've been telling the truth all this time. So now time isn't wasting. You want to waste more time, and then the PBC say, well, this is the business. This is a business, right? We need you to fight Keith Thurman. We need you to fight Keith Thurman. The negotiations with you and Bud Crawford ain't really working well since he can't sell. And you know, we can't afford him like this nigga, what's his name? Tim Smith said, we can't afford him. It ain't gonna work right now. So what we need to do is squeeze the juice out of your ass, right? We need to squeeze you. We gotta rinse your dick off, right? To get all the juice out, right? Sorry to be like this, man, but it is what it is. We gotta squeeze you out for another fight. Since they can't get it with Bud Crawford, because Bud Crawford, like I said, what I want from Bud Crawford is if he's going to do any 2-fight or 3-fight deal, it's going to be a fight, a rematch, and a trilogy with Errol Spence. That's it, man. That's it. It's going to go back and forth. We're going to work this. If either man won, that's the respect they get. Both of these men get respect. If one of them win or lose, they have the respect to get a rematch. And if that rematch is close or it goes whatever way and it comes down to a trilogy, we're going to do this like Wilder and Fury. And their saga will be over, and we can move on to Parna Ben, Speedy Rashid Ellis, Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. We can move on. And I always said I don't want Boots Ennis interrupting these two men's situations right here. Even Errol Spence, man. You think I want him to fight his IBF mandatory Boots Ennis? And I still want to see this fight with Errol and Bud? Do you think I want to see Boots Ennis fight Crawford and he have to volunteer to fight Boots Ennis? No, I don't want none of that shit. I want these two men to fight. I put my time and my earn with Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence, and Crawford. I put my time and effort in this because I was I'm always going to be a Manny Pacquiao fan. But he's retired right now, and I also did say I'm going to keep moving on with the welterweight division to see what the outcome of. Okay? So, as a Manny Pacquiao fan, I'm still moving on. Because like I said, even though Manny Pacquiao is not fighting, he left a trail of stuff that need to be done. And I'm making sure these fighters do it with no excuses. Because just because Manny ain't fighting, doesn't mean I can't say, well, you ain't do what Manny did. Oh, yeah. Manny Pacquiao fans, this shit ain't over, man. Don't worry about let him do what Manny got to do. But the trail, I need to see if these young brothers could do it. Or these fans are going to have excuses for him. Because remember this. Manny Pacquiao wasn't too old to fight Keith Thurman. I agree. And Manny Pacquiao wasn't too old to fight Ugas. And I keep that energy. Other fans probably won't, but I keep that energy. He wasn't too old to win. He wasn't too old to lose. That's it. Do I have an issue with Ugas? No. He did what he was supposed to do. So as a Pacquiao fan, as a real Pactor or Pacquiao fan, I separate myself from certain things because everybody that's a Manny Pacquiao fan doesn't see things logically or see it reasonably in a reasonable manner. I got nothing wrong with Ugas. I don't. Nope, not a problem. So if Ugas beats Spence, congratulations, brother. Matter of fact, I feel more of Ugas beating Spence so we could get this dumb shit over with. All right? And everybody could get a damn... Because sometimes I just be on that shit where I wish everybody lose. So now we don't have to worry about this effing zero. This zero. Okay? I'm done with this. So Ugas already lost by four times. So out 4 or 5 times. So if the man win, hey, that's more power to you, man. Because I was always on that time of fighters that lose and they come back and they beat somebody. I'm more for that fighter for someone that just have a zero. They haven't been through the storm. They haven't got back up and showed their proof that they could come back and do it like Manny Pacquiao. So if Ugas does it, more power to you and Cuba. Good. Get rid of all these damn zeros and these promotions and these networks and all, and not networks, and all these promotion companies trying to hold the boxer from doing certain things because they don't want to lose stock. Yeah, I'm on that type of time right now. So Errol Spence, what's it going to be, man? What's it going to be? Are you going to waste more time? Because the more time you waste, it's against you, buddy. Because I don't care what you say. You can move up to 154, don't even fight Bud Crawford. You don't have to fight Bud Crawford. But Boots want to go up to 154, you're going to have to see Boots. Both of y'all. Y'all going to see Boots. Y'all go to 154, y'all still going to see Boots. Boots going to be there, man. So, y'all have to do this journey together. Y'all have to do this journey together. And these stupid PBC, top, all these dudes, they got to get it together and make sure they make this fight for you. 55-45, 60-40, whatever it is, it's got to get done. But Errol Spence, if you waste time and you fight Keith Thurman, that means it's your fault. Because you have a voice. You said all these things with your vocal cords about how you don't want Keith Thurman. If you don't hold that and you saying, well, the business side is better, that's on you, brother. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here for you to read between the lines. I'm out.